I never really felt, any other way toward this place. It was always a place I wanted to play. I kind of, I've said this many times, I came here to win and I came here because I wanted to stay here. And I fell in love with the place as I've been here. I know sometimes that could change, but, or, you get traded and you're like, I don't really like it, but I've loved it ever since I've been here, and I love playing with my teammates. So pretty easy decision.
Goldie and Lino said they were both putting pressure on you. They were texting you saying you better not leave, or we're coming after you. That's what.
Yeah.
Was that funny? Everybody wanted you back, obviously. Right?
Yeah. Well, I got a lot of support from my teammates, and I got some threats and stuff like that. But it was all out of love, I think. So it was okay.
The last time you were in the World Baseball Classic, I think the most time you spent with Goldschmidt as a team now. Now you've had 2 years with him. It's like every day, not like an international. What does that kind of show you about him, player, as a guy that leads a team, as a presence?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Team USA was fun. I got to know him. We got to go eat breakfast, talk hitting, talk about life. And then obviously as a teammate, he's been, I sit next to him on the plane. We go to dinner all the time. I mean, he is one of my best friends, and we've gotten really close with his family. And I admire him, but he's also a great friend. You can bounce things off him, talking about anything. But he's just a great player, great dude. And we have our arguments too. It's kind of like a brotherhood, and it's not just me and him. It's a lot of guys in there. But he's just the way he goes about his business. You just watch him and you understand why that he has success, and you just try to be like that.
Set a sort of template for you, like as you get into your mid-30s, for how to kind of maintain.
I wouldn't say he said it. I think just the way he goes about his actions kind of showed me that, and he won the MVP at 35. And, if you look at him and the way he's moving, he doesn't look very old, and not at all. But the game kind of tells you when you get to that age, you're old, but he's not. So I think there's, it kind of shows you that, I don't know if I can quite be as good as Goldie, but, it pushes you to keep working, because you never know.
Along those lines with Adam Wainwright, he's 40-something now. Can you describe your pride in your teammate here for just pitching like it's 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think Waino's the most fun pitcher I've ever played defense behind. When he throws that curveball, I get a lot of ground balls, so that's always fun. But, just the way he pitches, he knows that he doesn't have the velo like other guys do, but he finds a way to, make pitches and actually pitch a baseball game. And it is enjoyable to watch him pitch and just go out there and compete, man. He's a hardcore competitor, and like I said, he's an unbelievable dude and a great teammate, and hopefully we can do something great for him this year.
We've heard from a number of the younger players about your warehouse and the pride they've gotten in going out there and working with you. Tell us about what you created there and what you're doing with some of the.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just an open, it's my warehouse, and obviously it's open to anybody who wants to come, and just kind of letting them know, hey man, if you guys want to get some work in and come out here, we can talk hitting, hang out, whatever, talk about anything, and just leaving that open to anybody that wants to come. And I think it's important, maybe some guys are in town or maybe they don't want to, but, just have that option, I think is important to have. And, I think it just builds chemistry.
How long did it take you to get over October, or do you ever get over something like this? Does it stay with you and burn throughout the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been really tough to get over. I mean, that was probably the hardest loss, series of, I've ever gone through in my baseball career. But the Phillies are a great team. You got to give credit where credit's due. But I don't know, we just didn't play great baseball either, that series. And so it's been hard to swallow. But, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm excited for the new year. I've moved on, and it's time to move on. And I got to get ready for the season.
Along those lines, you say you guys accomplished your goal last year. You won the division. Can't take that away from you. Yeah. But after last year's off the postseason, you're like, not only now do we need to win the division, but now there's this fire, let's try to be one of those 2 seeds against the bye.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think it's really important to win and, get that bye, get that 5-game series. I think it's really important, and I think we're capable of doing that. But, we got to work hard, and we got to do a good job this year.
So when you talk about wanting to compete, obviously you guys in the offseason had a guy like Wilson Contreras who has competed at the highest level and won at the highest level. As far as where the roster's at right now, what do you think of the roster? How competitive do you think you guys are?
Yeah, I think we're really good. I mean, I think it all comes down to our starting pitching staying healthy. I mean, these guys are good, and when you have Jack healthy, I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in the game. And so I think if we could get him right, and he says he feels great and he looks great when I saw him. I think that just having that guy that's going to go out there and give us a great chance to win every time. And then obviously Miles is a horse. Mont, Matz is healthy. I mean, Dakota I think is going to have a bounce back year. I mean, these guys are all working hard, and but we need them. We need them to stay healthy because, like I said, I think a lot of these teams that are winning, it seems like their starters are able to stay healthy throughout the year, or if they have somebody that comes in, they come in and help out and sustain winning for a little bit. But I think, like I said, if we could keep those guys healthy and Waino just doing his thing, we're gonna be all right.
Do you think that the new rules for the pitch clock will help Dakota be back?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think Dak, first year off Tommy John, I think he's gonna be just fine. I think he's gonna get comfortable again. He's gonna make some pitches. I mean, when I faced him in 2019, I mean, it was really uncomfortable at bat, and I know he can get back to that.
Nolan, just on the hitting side, how do you think that pitch clock is going to affect it?
Honestly, I don't really know too much about it. Is that like we have to stay in the box or something, or I have no idea. I'm not even paying attention to it. So I probably won't even pay attention to it when I'm playing this year, to be quite honest with you. So I mean, just get ready to hit. I try not to do too much anyways in between. But if I feel rushed, I'm definitely gonna call timeout. So it'll be all right.
Nolan, we talked to Mo yesterday, and he discussed some things that he was excited about for the offseason and a couple things that he wanted to make happen but wasn't able to. When you look at how this roster is constructed for 2023, what do you think is the biggest strength?
I mean, our defense. I mean, I think our defense I think our defense is the best in the game, and it has been the past 2 years in my eyes. I think that's our biggest strength right now. We'll see. I think offense, we could really take a big stride this year. We got some young guys that are good ball players that we need them to take big strides, and then hopefully me and Goldie can just do our thing. But and having Contreras obviously is going to make us so much better, and I can't wait to have him. But for me, it's our defense. I really think our defense we win a lot of ball games because of our defense.
Sounds like
you
you're
come off of the kind of year that you had last year where you're consistent at a high level on both sides of the ball. What do you do to develop an off-season plan? Like, what do you look at in 22 and say, I want to improve this when the results were as good as they were?
Yeah. I mean, I think that is tough. I guess the main thing that I focus on in the offseason after I had a year like I did is to not get complacent with that year and just continue to find ways to stay healthier, get quicker, just feel good, feel fresh, and hopefully I can add those things during the season. But I still feel like last year was a great year, but I feel like I slid in September. I had a really terrible May, and I know that's part of the game, but they were pretty bad months. So if I could just limit how bad they were, I think I could have been better. And I don't know, I still want to drive the ball a little bit better than I did. I know I did a fine job, but I think there's more in there.
That you saw Jack?
Yeah, I saw him yesterday. We flew together here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we flew here.
And that was your first time seeing him?
Seeing him and talking, hanging out. Seen him, this off season, and looks great. Looks confident.
Is that what, I mean, you talked about how important it is. Is that you're at the airport waiting to get on the plane kind of on him?
Well, I mean, we were talking. I wasn't checking him out, but I was. We were talking, and just to see, his face. You could tell his expressions. I know in spring training last year he was bummed because his arm wasn't right, and so to see him not bummed and it feel really good, that's a huge thing. That's a confidence, and that gives us a lot of confidence.
What was it like for you watching free agency with player movement there? Obviously, their teams are going after it and spending wild amounts of money. What was that like as a competitor who's trying to get through the National League, watching that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, some of these teams got the money to spend, and they're not afraid to spend it, right? The Mets are going in, and as they should, they got really good players, and I think, the Yankees, I mean, there's a few teams, but, I think that doesn't necessarily, guarantee winning either, I mean, obviously they're great moves, and they're going to be really good. There's a really good chance of that, so they probably have a lot of confidence in that, but there's no guarantees in this game. You still got to go out and do it. I know they know it. I know we know it too. So, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
What did you learn about Ollie last year, your first year playing? All the changes to the staff, some of the guys who are kind of in good years, his ability to put guys in the right spot and help you guys push through that.
Yeah, well, Ollie's the best manager I've had. I know I haven't had too many managers. I've had 3 or 4, I think. But he's the best, and I just think the way he goes about his business, he lets us go about our business, and he treats us like grown men, and that's how we need to act. And he expects us to get our work done, but he's honest, he's real, and that's all you can ask for. But I love the way he goes about it, and first year as manager too is not easy, and I thought what he did was unbelievable, considering a lot of guys we called up from AAA, and he was able to like manage that. Guys got hurt, and just the way he handled all of that, I think that's not an easy thing to do, and he did a great job at it.
Nolan, what are some examples of things that excite you about 2023 Lawrence New
Man, what a question. I mean, obviously, I've seen Newt work this offseason, and I just think he's looked so much better swinging and hitting. And, I mean, I think he's got a chance to be really good in this game. I do. And, he's got to go out and do it. He knows that. But the steps he's made this offseason with his swing and the way he looks. I remember we hit early in the offseason, and, he looked fine, looked like Newt. And then I remember hit with him a couple weeks ago, and I was like, wow, it looks a little bit different. Sounds a little bit different, moving a little different. So I expect him to be a huge piece for us.
He's gonna handle the increase.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's doing fine with it. He's playing for Japan now, so he's really feeling it. And like I said, you don't have to worry about Newt because he works. You know what I mean? If he was worried about the attention not working, then we got problems. But that's not it with him.
Nolan, you had Pujols sitting behind you last year. Obviously, he had a great season, but having Contreras now in that 5-hole, how big can that be for you and Goldie to add that protection and be another, a guy who can take you deep?
Yeah, well, I think obviously just having him in our lineup, if he hits behind me or not, it's just huge. He works at bats, yeah, and he's got power. And I think the best part about him is he knows this division. He's not walking into anything he's never been. The only thing he's walking in that's different is the team, us. But besides that, he knows everything about everybody, and I think that's going to pay dividends for us.
Well, next week there's a chance that Scott Rowland is elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. I know you grew up watching Beltre. Did you watch Rowland as you kind of became a pro, and what's your level of appreciation for what he brought, not just to defense, but kind of the total package of third base?
Yeah, as I got into pro ball, I started watching more about him. And I think when I was in Colorado, they would tell me you gotta, you see how he moves his feet. They would show me highlights of Beltre, Mike Schmidt, Scott Rowland, and I think the one thing I admire about Scott Rowland is that he's so big, and when you don't realize how big the man is until you get next to him, and to be that good and agile and move that well and have that great of an arm, it's a hard thing to do. And I was always impressed with that, with how big he was, and he moved so well. And I think he's a Hall of Famer. He deserves it. I hope Todd gets in also. But like I said, Scott's one of the legends around here. He's a Hall of Famer, Cardinal Hall of Famer for a reason. And just trying to walk in those footsteps, I guess.
Have you seen the kind of conversation about third base change in your 10 years? Anything about the class you're in with Chapman and out playing third base now? Have you seen kind of the third base change in your 10 years?
Yeah, I feel like third base is a staple now. I always felt like back in the day it was always center field, shortstop, which those are still extremely valuable, and those are probably the more valuable ones. But I feel like people are starting to appreciate making sure they have a really good third baseman nowadays and a first baseman. Because I think just keeping those corners down and playing good defense and hitting homers is really valuable. And the corners have that's where you expect them from.
Team Japan has the players like Darvish. They are all in for the title this time. What do you think of them?
Yeah, I mean, they're really good. I mean, those guys are obviously some of the best in the game. In 2017 when we played Japan in LA, I think it was the semifinals. They were a really good team and they had some really good starters and pitching. And I think the toughest thing about them is that you don't really know them. You don't know who they are. You never really face them, and they have a great chemistry. They've all played with each other, and so they're going to be tough. They're tough every year, and I got a lot of respect for them and how they go about their business too.
How about the Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, Shohei. Well, I mean, yeah, he's probably the best player in the game, and he's big anywhere, man. And obviously, I just admire his game, and it's still hard to comprehend that he's doing what he's doing. It's just pretty unbelievable.
I know you get along with the Roy. How excited you are?
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be fun playing against them. Well, hopefully, we meet up at some point in the tournament. But it'll be fun, Hopefully, he strikes out and we win. So.
Pick one or two more, and then get Nolan across the way for his autograph.
No, you guys are gonna have 7, 8, 9 players playing in the World Baseball Classic. Do you worry about continuity of the Cardinals? You guys are all gonna be spread out during spring training.
I mean, maybe a little bit. I mean, it was a little concerning, I guess, when I saw all the guys that were going to play in it. But at the end of the day, I think the guys that are playing in it, besides Lars, Tommy, those guys are a little bit younger. But we all have great chemistry with each other. And to be honest with you, I remember when 2017, when I played in it, I feel like it got me ready for the season more than spring training. So I think there's a huge positive, to it. I mean, there really is. I mean, the only thing that's a little scary, I guess, is how intense those games are in March when you're not quite ready, like you usually are in April. But I mean, I feel more ready for 2017 season than I have in any other season that I didn't do it. So I think there's so many positives to it, and I'm excited about it.
Ankle gloves now. What year for year being ready for defense and stuff. What's the next steps for you to make sure that you keep improving and keep elevating your game on defense?
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy as I'm getting older, but I still feel really good. And I think what I did a good job last year of, and probably Goldie showed me this the most, is probably like I don't need to take so many ground balls before the game. I conserve my energy, make sure I'm fresh for the game. I take so many ground balls in the off season and spring training that I'm not going to forget how to take ground balls just because I don't take it for a few times in batting practice. But there's a mental aspect to that too, where you feel like if you don't take ground balls and you make an error that game, you're like, I need to go take ground balls because I can't be doing that. But I think it's more of a confidence thing and making sure I stay fresh. And there's no reason why I feel like I can't play just as good as defense as I did last year.
Well, is Lars the young guy to watch this year? Is there somebody else that should be on that radar?
I mean, I think it's all of them. I mean, really, T.O., DC, Newt, those guys are going to be huge. I mean, those are our guys. We need those guys. And yeah, I mean, Newt looks really good. And the second half he had last year was huge for us. I know Jordan Walker's probably coming, and I've seen some video of his swing, and he's got a great swing. But they're also young too. You got to give them time to figure it out and have a little more forgiveness. But we also got to win ball games, so we expect a lot out of them.